Tonight on the WDW Fan Zone show, we've got the latest Disney World news. And in addition to that, we're going to talk about if you're planning a vacation to Walt Disney World, is it getting more difficult? Is it less difficult? Is it a problem? How to manage your planning your next trip to Walt Disney World. We'll get into all that. But first, let me introduce Jess, who's going to be here with all the Disney World park news, and Darlene, who's got news on park hours and other things fun and exciting that you'll want to hear. And I've got some news outside of the parks. And we're going to get into it right now with Jess.
Hello, everybody. So happy to share some very exciting news coming up. April 20th, which is next week, annual pass sales are back. So just keep in mind now, limited quantities are available. If you're looking maybe April 21st, you might not get some. People are very excited about annual passes. I would stay close to my phone or on your computer to grab them as soon as possible because we are expecting them to sell out quickly. Also remember, if you are an annual pass holder, on April 18th, you are able to enter the park at 2 p.m. without a park reservation. So that is a really great perk for those of you who are going to buy new annual passes on April 20th. And we're all very excited about this too. We were just talking about not having to make a reservation. We're just going to go when we want to. So it's very exciting to be able to have that again. At a limited time, of course, at 2 p.m. But, it's better than not at all. So also coming up July 27th to November 18th, we have had announced that Epcot International Food and Wine Festival will take place again, July 27th to November 18th. It is a little bit later start this year. So if you're mid-July trip, you probably won't be able to partake in that. But again, July 27th to November 18th, head over to Epcot. There is a new photo shoot in Fantasyland. It's called Capture Your Moment Photo Shoot. And it's basically the 20-minute long session, and you get in pictures with the princesses and a couple other Disney characters in front of different parts of Fantasyland. And that will be $99 again for a 20-minute session. And you can start booking that on April 24th. And then the photo shoots start May 1st. So check that out. That sounds really exciting. And then also keep in mind, Happily Ever After and Epcot Forever are back for the fireworks shows at Magic Kingdom and Epcot, respectively. So check those out also. And then finally, something popped up recently, and this is very exciting for Star Tours lovers in Hollywood studios. In 2024, there will be some new Star Tours adventures. So it will be a little bit different than you are experiencing now, but it hasn't changed in a while. So this is a very, very exciting change that we've been looking forward to for a very long time. And that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Jess. All right, Jess, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you're not feeling great, and thank you for being here.
Yes, it was great to be back, and I really can't wait to see you guys next week. So everyone, see you real soon.
All right. All right, Darlene. You're on mute.
I'm sorry about that. I don't have much news tonight, but what I do have I wanted to talk a little bit about this weekend. If you are here and you know about the Springtime Surprise Weekend that's going on with everything at ESPN, the races and everything will be going on. So you'll see a lot of runners here. Congratulate those runners if you see them in the park wearing their medals. But ESPN will have some, the expo is open to everyone. Stuart could go, my husband could go, I could go, even though I'm not running. I was there today working, helping set up a booth that I help with Sparkle Athletics. Wonderful team group. They have a lot of fun, love their clothing. It's wonderful. So stop by and see them. Tell them Darlene Nagy sent you. But the hours of the expo will be 8 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night, which is Thursday. Friday will be 8 to 8:30 p.m. Saturday will be 9 to 5, and Sunday 12 to 5. ESPN will be open, but I know that a lot of people and booths will be breaking down on Saturday. So that's that. Just mentioned the fireworks. Happily Ever After is going to be being held at 9 p.m. and Magic Kingdom Happily Ever After, yes, it's going to be held at 9 p.m. nightly, and Epcot Forever is going to be held at 9 p.m. also nightly, which I think is crazy. But just think of it this way. If you are at one of those resorts and you have a great view, or you guys are eating dinner somewhere, you very well might be able to see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from one window and look and see Hollywood Studios or Epcot's from another window. Isn't that just like amazing? I think that's fantastic.
Cool. I wonder if that's why the fireworks have been so loud lately by my house.
They could be, because they're both at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. Another thing to talk about is Fantasmic is held at 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. And in between that, you have the wonderful World of Animation held at 9:30. So I just wanted to go over a couple of those hours, because I know I heard somebody in the park, they were trying to look in the guide and that. And I just wanted to mention those. You guys need to know when these things are, and since I didn't have a lot of other news, I thought this would be a great time to bring them up. Now, just mentioned those annual passes. If you are a DVC member, be prepared tomorrow to get online, which is April 13th, Thursday. Disney Vacation Club members can get the Sorcerer's Pass starting tomorrow. So just go online and you can buy your annual pass with your DVC membership. I don't have prices or anything, so but just be prepared. Also, keep in mind that with this weekend, traffic in and out of Walt Disney World is going to be a little bit hectic, with the roads being closed for the runners and stuff. Even though they try to clear everything out by a certain time and get those races done, you do have runners that are, coming out later and stuff, and spectators. So, and parking might be a little bit of an issue. So, but just be patient with everybody, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. I do want to mention, before I get into my news, if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and Adventure by Disney, a Disney cruise, what a wonderful time to take a Disney cruise. Mouse Fan Travel's got you covered with anything and everything you need. It doesn't even have to be a Disney vacation. This is around the time of year, if you haven't started already, you want to start making your plans on where you want to go and when you want to go for 2023. And Mouse Fan Travel's got the best agents, the kindest, most courteous agents you'll ever find anywhere, and the most knowledgeable. And you can find more information about Mouse Fan Travel and all their wonderful, great deals by going to www.mousefantravel.com. That's www.mousefantravel.com. All right, during the April 3rd annual shareholder meeting, Disney CEO Bob Iger announced that there are currently plans to invest $17 billion, that's right, billion with a B, and that's $17 billion in Disney World over the next 10 years, and add an additional 13,000 jobs. The Disney company has also named its first ever chief brand officer, Asad Ayaz, who is currently Walt Disney Studios President of Marketing. Congratulations to Asad, and best of luck in your new position. All right, the Disney College Program participants' hourly rate will be $16 per hour starting June 4th. That's a $2 per hour increase from the current hourly rate of $14. And we've been talking about annual passes tonight, and I've got a little more news. Disneyland's version of the annual pass, called Magic Key Passes, were made available yesterday for online purchasing. As done in the past, there's a limited number of passes that were expected to be available for sale. I do not know at the current time if they have sold them out or if there are still some available. A new Star Wars series is coming to Disney Plus in 2024 called The Acolyte. The new Star Wars series, Ahsoka, I think it's pronounced, will be available. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Will be available on Disney Plus this August, and Disney has just released a new teaser trailer for the series. Disney Plus has also released a new trailer for the Star Wars Visions Volume 2, which is expected to be available for streaming on May 4th. Marvel fans, Disney has released a trailer for the new The Marvels film coming to theaters on November 10th, and that movie is the sequel to Captain Marvel. Continuing with movie news, on June 30th, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny movie will be released to theaters, and now we have a new trailer for the movie that was just released. Disney and Lego have teamed up on a new app designed for preschoolers to encourage creative play and learning. The name of the new app is Lego Duplo Disney, Mickey, and Friends. And that is all the news I have for this week. Darlene, park hours.
Before I talk about park hours, I would like to mention the very beautiful state of Florida and being here in the sunshine and in the cloudy days like today were beautiful, with a little bit of rain that we very much needed. If you want to live in this area, contact Victor Naraki at disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Now, park hours for April 13th through April 19th, which is next week, Wednesday. Magic Kingdom is open Thursday through Tuesday, 9 to 11 p.m. with a extended evening hour of 9 to 11 and 11 to 1 a.m. for those deluxe park guests. Epcot will be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 9. Sunday the 16th, 10 a.m. to 9. Then Monday, they have a extended hours for those deluxe resorts. So it's 9 to 9 and then 9 to 11 p.m. Returning Tuesday the 18th and 19th for 9 to 9. Hollywood Studios, get your pens ready. Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. Friday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. and Saturday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Sunday, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Monday, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and Tuesday, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. And then Wednesday is a special ticket event. So you have 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and then 9:30 to 12:30 a.m. Typhoon Lagoon will be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 to 6 p.m. And then starting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to 5 p.m. Blizzard Beach, of course, is closed. Boardwalk will be open from 6:30 to 10 p.m. And Disney Springs will be open Thursday, 10 to 11, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 11:30, and Sunday through Wednesday, 10 to 11 p.m. You're muted.
Thank you.
Start over.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right. The weather for the next 7 days at Walt Disney World calls for daytime highs in the low to upper 80s with nighttime temperatures going from the low to upper 60s. And one other thing, it was on this day in Disney history on April 12th, 1992, that Disneyland Paris opened its doors. Happy 31st anniversary to Disneyland Paris. And now, I had mentioned, I can take my glasses off. I don't have to read anything. I mentioned, I guess last week and the week before, that we were going to be combining the shows, and we're still trying to get it together. As you can see, it's just myself and Darlene here right now. But we are going to do that. And tonight we're going to talk about, is there an easier way to make plans for Walt Disney World if you're planning a vacation? It used to be, I don't know how you did it, Darlene, but what we would do is we would pick our resort first. Then after we picked the resort, we would make our dining reservation. I'm sorry, we would make our park reservations, and then pick our dining choices. So we like to do a lot of sit-down meals for dinner or lunch, but we'd have one a day. So we would then choose our restaurants after that. You didn't have to worry about Genie Plus. You didn't have to worry about, you had to worry about Fast Pass, but it wasn't
Not until you got to the park.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So it really wasn't that difficult. It wasn't easy. And if you have a good travel agent, did I mention Mouse Fan Travel? They can help you out tremendously with that. Now, they're not supposed to, but I know they do make dining reservations for their clients. They help them out in that respect. So it takes some of the burden off of you as the traveler. It's one less thing you really have to worry about. They'll get that done for you. It's gotten to the point now where, the first thing you have to think of is, what time of year am I going? How crowded is it going to be? It's always crowded at Walt Disney World now. But if you're coming in the summertime, especially in July and parts of June, it's going to be incredibly crowded. And it just makes it that much more difficult for people to navigate. And sometimes you can't help it because you're going with young children who are out of school, and that's the only time you can go, and you don't want to take that vacation away from your kids. I don't know if we're going to see a slowdown in attendance this summer. If you look at how things have been in the parks, it doesn't look that way. But time will tell. Again, Darlene, how did you used to plan your vacations? Besides going to a travel agent, we all did that, but
Nope.
You didn't plan your vacations?
So I had a neighbor, a friend, my dear friend Nancy. She helped me plan my vacations. She wasn't a travel agent. She was a DVC member, though. And she had been going to Disney for years. So she actually helped me with planning my first few vacations. So back then we really didn't have computers either.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So you would order your DVD, which she ordered me a DVD. Yep. We watched the DVD, all that stuff, which we now have that all on the computer.
Yeah, first it was VHS tapes.
Right? I know. Oh, God.
There's some people out there going, what is that?
What is that, right? Yeah. So, we had that. Now, when you mentioned about the dining reservations, I used my first travel planner back for my 40th birthday. We used AAA, and they did make our reservations for us. We found out after, because they were a preferred
preferred travel agent partner or whatever it was. Yeah.
At the time. But the agent I had never made me the reservation for Cinderella's Royal Table. I made that myself. Mm-hmm. But then when we went to make a payment, we found out about it. So I find that once I switched over to our preferred provider, which is MEI Mouse Fan Travel, my life was so much easier, especially because we used them for cruising and stuff. And we used them for our trip to Disneyland. They make it so easy, discussing everything in that. I cannot use them when I'm using Disney Vacation Points. So that is how I book a lot of my stuff since 2012. So with saying that, I find it Disney Vacation Club tries to make it much easier for us. At one point, we had the dining package options. We could book our reservations after we went away from my beloved fast passes. I do love you so much. We then went on to 180 days out, 60 days out, that you could book your reservations for your rides and stuff. I wasn't sure what park we were going to be in, but that's what we did. We had to pick our resort. Make sure you got a flight when you picked your resort, and that you can mash everything together. And then you would do your park reservations and your dining reservations. I know now I think it's still 60 days, right?
Yeah,
For
I believe
dining.
so.
Yeah. So
it was 90 days at one time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Now it's 60, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So, I mean, they're trying to not push you, but in a way, sometimes I feel some people are ready to make reservations and get a plan down, especially those people that love Excel sheets planning. That they want to stay at Caribbean Beach. They want to be able to ride the Skyliner. They want to eat breakfast at Crystal Palace, so they're going to go to Magic Kingdom. They want to have dinner at Hollywood and Vine. So next day they pick that one because they found a reservation. So I think a lot of reservations and stuff, you can still plan that way. It's easier to do it that way, especially if you want a character meet and greet. You really do need to make those reservations in advance.
Absolutely.
Don't expect to have a walk up.
Nope. You can get them, but they're few and far between.
Correct.
I think it depends on what your goals are going to Walt Disney World. Will depend on if you can make it easier for yourself or not. I still think the first thing you need to do is make the resort reservation. You have to have your travel plans in place, but make your resort reservation. Make your park reservations. That's something you didn't have to do before. That is so important. Make those park reservations, depending on what park you have for each day. If you plan on making dining reservations, that would be the next thing you would do after that. But 1 and 2, it's going to be resort and park reservations. You're not going to be able to make the park reservations, if I'm not mistaken, without the resort. If you're staying off property, it becomes a little more difficult for you because then you have to purchase tickets
Prior to,
and you have to reserve the park you purchase the tickets for. So you want to do that.
So I have a friend coming down tomorrow, and she bought a 4-day ticket, and they gave her a 7-day window. I can tell you that. I know that. There was a 7-day booking window that she could use, but she did have to give dates to them when she bought the ticket.
Oh, good. So they're kind of locking you in pretty much.
Right.
Okay. Well, not locking, kind of locking you.
Yeah, we can't say that because I have a friend that was supposed to come down last October and wasn't able to come down. And she has not scanned her tickets yet. Okay. So her tickets are still good, but she did let them know she was not coming down.
Okay. So if something happens, they are being reasonable about it. That's
yes.
Good. It's once you make the park reservations, then you can decide, do I want to make dining reservations? Some people won't. But like Darlene said, I would say if you want to reserve dining anywhere, don't wait until you're in the parks. If you plan on having sit-down meals, you have to do it as soon as they allow you to do it. Make those reservations. I know it's hard to say, okay, on this day I want to have barbecue, or on this day I want to have garden grill. I want to, with Chip and Dale. But you don't always know what might happen in the interim. So you want to be prepared and have fallback plans in case, but make sure you have your plans set for what you actually want to do as soon as you can. Now, Genie Plus is another story. If you're coming in July, I am telling you right now, most parks you're going to be miserable without buying if you don't buy Genie Plus. Unless you've been here 100 times and you plan on being here 100 times more. If this is just like a once in a year trip or a twice in a year trip, you're going to lose out on some attractions during that time. And there's no guarantee any other time you won't. You're going to lose out on some attractions if you don't have Genie Plus, no matter what time of year you come. It depends on how much time you are allowing yourself to wait for an attraction. As a rule of thumb, and I don't always keep to it, but as a rule of thumb, I give an attraction wait 45 minutes from the time I get online till I get onto the attraction. If it takes longer than that, I'm waiting too long. Now, I have an advantage living down here because if I don't get an attraction one week, I can come back another day. Where if you're here for that one time or twice in a year time, it's not as easy. So you might allow yourself a little more time, but then you've got to think, how many hours of the day am I spending in the parks? If you're here with children, do you want to spend the entire day in the park from 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. until closing? Your children are going to need naps. You're going to need to take a break. Running is going to wear you down. And by day, let's say 3 or 4 of your vacation, it's not going to be pretty. And you don't want to get sick. You don't want to be stressed out. A vacation is just that, a vacation. It shouldn't be stressful. So you need to plan your day. It's not just around the park you're in and the meals and the rides you're going to go on and when. It's around your health and stress levels too, and your children's. You want to make it as fun as possible for everyone. And if you're coming down without children, you have a little more of an advantage. And by that I mean you don't have to worry about them getting cranky because they haven't had a nap. You just have to worry about yourself getting cranky and not having a nap. I don't know if there's anything else to say in terms of how to plan it. I still think it's going to be difficult for some people. If you're not tech savvy and you don't know how to use the My Disney Experience app, get some help from someone who can help you.
Just for, sake of research right now, I was Googling to see what breakfasts are available.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get 60 days out, even if you don't have a reservation. And I just hit breakfast, and your choices are very minimal. So you've got, for Saturday, Allen Compass, Hollywood and Vine, La Crêperie de Paris, Uggla's Canteen, Rainforest Animal Kingdom, Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, Trails End Restaurant, Tutorial Forno, Tusker House, and Whispering Canyon.
Yeah.
Did you notice I didn't mention many places inside the parks?
Yeah, I did notice that. What I would suggest for most people would be, if you have to eat breakfast, get up a little earlier, eat in your resort, and then make sure you get on whatever transportation you're taking to the resort as soon as you can. I do not recommend eating breakfast in the parks because you're wasting time that you could be either on an attraction or on a shorter line to get on an attraction. I'm trying to think. I did have another thought, and I can't remember what it was. I can tell you what we used to do. We used to do the sit-down meals, which is the reserve dining for our dinners for the most part. We would have one breakfast. When our kids were little, we would do a character breakfast. But the parks were not as crowded as they are today.
No.
So, there's nothing wrong with getting out of the parks for a meal. Like Chef Mickey's, if you've got little children and you need to take a break from the parks, that's perfect. You have to do lunch and then go back to the parks. Something that I think makes it a little more difficult now, where I think you have to have your park reservations first so you know where you're going to be. it used to be you could make your dining reservations and plan your parks from your dining reservations. Now it's just the opposite. So you could run into, I've made my park reservation, but there were no dining reservations available. At that point, you want to call your travel planner, or you want to call, if you're doing it yourself, you want to call Disney and see, okay, can I switch things up and hopefully not lose something? So that's where
Right.
it can get a little difficult. So have plans B, C, and D. So let's say you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom and have breakfast at Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace isn't available the day you're going to be in Magic Kingdom. See if you can switch parks that day if possible. Now, there are certain days of the week. This is something else your travel planner will know this historically. What parks are busier than others on certain days? Touringplans.com is a wonderful website to find out that information. And it's listen to your travel planner. They're the experts when it comes to knowing what you should do and when you should go and where you should go. They'll help guide you. They're not going to make the decision for you, but they'll help guide you and steer you in the right direction if you have a good one. I know at our preferred travel planner, we know they have good travel agents there who have nothing but their clients' best interests at heart. I can't speak for others. I know we've been, for lack of a better word, screwed with by a couple that we've used before we found Mouse Fan Travel.
Right.
That doesn't mean they're all bad. Not at all. There are some very good ones out there. But I think a travel planner is key. I would not recommend doing it on your own, especially with everything that goes into planning a Disney vacation these days. It's not getting any easier. Part of the reason is Disney wants to know where you are every second of the day so they can help guide traffic and move resources around to try to keep the flow of the parks moving and to see who's spending what, who's doing what, where, so they know for future visitors that are coming. It's much like a political election poll. They're not always right, but they like to see this information so they have it to use as a guide going forward. Anything else you want to add, Darlene?
If you want to stay in the same park, or if you're thinking of, because I had family that did one park a day and they wish they had done a park hopper. Really,
which is very expensive now.
It is. It's not like it used to be. I think it was at one point, wasn't it like 25? And then
it
it
was great. We just added it on whether we were going to use it or not, just for the hell of it, because it was worth it at one time.
Yeah. I know the first time we didn't use it and we didn't even know about it. So, think of these things. These are, especially if this is going to be a one and done vacation for you, you want to make sure that you know how, you want flexibility. Because maybe the kids fell asleep and you didn't get to go to Fantasmic. Be sure to get in line for Fantasmic. If you see people starting to line up, I would get in that line if you don't have a dining reservation attached with seats.
Yeah. Yep. Good point. If you're lucky enough to get your resort, get the parks you want on the days you want, and dining reservations to go with those parks on those days, feel very blessed for that. If you're not, be able, I would come up with at least 2 alternate plans for each park that you want to make a reservation for and a dining reservation for a day. If you can't get one or the other, know what your second choice would be and have a third choice available as well and work it that way. Hopefully you'll be down here long enough where you'll get to every park, maybe not on the days you want, but and get everything in that you want. You're not going to be able to do everything. And some people come down here thinking, wow, I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to do this, this, and this. If I buy Genie Plus, I'm going to be able to do it all. No, not always. Maybe you will, but rides break down. Like there were 4 attractions in Magic Kingdom this morning that broke down.
Really?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Space Mountain was one. There was, oh God, it was something with Belle in New Fantasyland.
Oh,
It also went down. I'm trying to think of the
Enchanted
other.
Tales with Belle.
Yeah, that went down. And there were 2 others. And I can't remember which the 2 others were. But they were down for a period of time today. That doesn't mean it's going to happen every day. It may not happen at all while you're here. But be prepared. Always be prepared. You know, you might have a Genie Plus reservation at 9 a.m., not 9 a.m., at 11 a.m., and it may get pushed to 1 a.m., 1 p.m. You know, or the ride might break down and you might be told, sorry, you know, we know you have Genie Plus. Try to make another reservation someplace else. That can happen. So use my Disney experience. It will help you navigate the parks if you're using Genie, especially if you're using Genie Plus. And like I said, you're going to have alternate plans. You can't. I would have at least a plan A, B, and C at the very least. I'd even go with a plan D to play it safe, and hopefully you won't get past plan A. So be prepared for that, and hope your preparation will mean you don't have to use the extra time and effort you put into it. Yeah, and that's about all I can say on this. I mean, you know, you can steer people to the water, but you can't make them drink it.
Right.
So you can take our advice, or you can do what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any final notes before we end this thing this week?
No, I think that's it. You know, just do your research, find a great travel planner. If you need, you know, if you would like a travel agent, you could DM Stuart or I, or you can go right over to the MEI Mouse Fan Travel website and get a free quote, and they'll connect you with a travel planner. But we do have a few personal friends that we use. So,
Yep, absolutely. All right. Before we end the show, I do want to mention a couple of things. I know the whole Reedy Creek Disney thing has been in the news a lot lately, and we've kind of stayed away from it for many different reasons. And I'm not going to give any reasons now why we've stayed away from them, and I'm not going to talk about it now other than what I mentioned. So if you're looking for that kind of news here, I'm sorry, but we're not going to provide that news. I think there's too much developing daily with it, and it's just not worth. Yeah, it's just to some people, you know, it's just not worth stating something and then having to say something else a week later. So I'd rather just keep away from that for now.
right. I agree.
Yeah. The other thing is, we want to help people find our show. Love it, hate it, or otherwise, we want to help people find our show. And the one way they can do that is if you can please kindly, especially if you're a new viewer or listener, kindly subscribe to the show and either like it or hate it. It's okay, whatever you prefer. This way, we're more visible to people on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and more people will find us and they'll make their own conclusions whether they like us.
Right.
All right. And on that note, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. I hope everyone had a great Easter and Passover. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Have a magical night. Stay safe, and please pack sunscreen with you.